Good evening and welcome to Ubuntu Channels, My Point of View. To host it is Chaza right here, and we are together up to the hour 21 Central African time. And as usual, tonight I'll be joined by Mr. Mukelawai right here to actually make known his views as regards the stories and headlines of the week that we do have tonight. And those of you that would like to join us, we definitely invite you that you can join us and also react to the stories that we have tonight. And those of you that would like to make mention that you are following the program through Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, you can actually leave us a comment right in the comment section, and we'll be glad to know that you are right there following the program. Mr. Mkelawai, good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Chaza, and good evening, viewers. Hope you're okay today, and it's a lovely weekend.
Yes, indeed. The 11th day of May, 2024. Days are flying, like a rocket, really. Pretty soon we'll be talking about, the end of the year.
Yes. And today kola tatrekota iyo. Tatrekekera kuwatch. TikTok. Time is running. What's the rush? Today tukira kwisa, tukira kumbanda. Yes.
All right, it's definitely so nice, having you on the program. And without much ado, let's go straight to take a look at the first story, and we're back right after it.
Our preliminary investigations so far have revealed that Mr. Zulu is married to 2 wives and maintains 2 separate homes within Choma compound, and on that material day he had actually gone to the home of the second wife. Later in that evening he went to the wife of the house of the first wife around 19 hours, that is on the 28th of April 2024. Miss Grace Zulu is now supposed to be now the suspect, was not found at home, and Mr. Zulu only found the 3 children unattended to in the home, and despite him waiting for the wife only arrived in the early hours of 29th of April, reportedly in a drunken state. An altercation between Mr. and Mrs. Zulu ensued, which tragically escalated when Mrs. Zulu allegedly stabbed the husband with a knife, inflicting a deep wound in his stomach. Mr. Zulu was promptly provided medical attention and rushed to the University Teaching Hospital, where he is currently admitted.
Globally, 85% of infertility is because of infections, typically the chlamydia and the gonorrhea.
Your time is up. Thank you so much.
Okay. Since I've been mentioned, I can react to what comment Chinda just
Yes.
said.
I haven't finished my
That
point.
clear there.
Remember,
No,
we
I
are going
haven't.
to
Okay,
hear
let me
you.
finish my point so that my brother can.
Does the Patriotic Front
They are grateful to the government. The people in Nyawa Chiefdom of Kazungula can now boast of electricity after the completion of the grid extension project by the Rural Electrification Authority, REA.
This is the first time we are seeing REA or ZESCO trying to bring power in the area. There are a lot of business opportunities that are in Nyawa, and having electricity, it is a dream for the people of this area.
The grid will benefit 277 households in the chiefdom.
We have connected from Zimba to Nyawa about 50 kilometers of a 33 kV line and about 8 kilometers of a 400 kV network.
The 2023 project has been commissioned by Southern Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Yolanta Malunga on behalf of Energy Minister Peter Kapala.
Government has advanced other interventions to further quicken the pace of electrification in rural areas, such as implementation of the Electricity Access Service Project, which is at 26.5 million loan financing agreement between the government and the World Bank.
The traders in the area could not hide their joy following the development.
It was hard for us to make some businesses, even to do some other skills. It was a bit hard, but now we are very much happy that now we have electricity.
The Nyawa grid extension will also supply electricity to Nyawa Secondary School and Nyawa Market. Adra Aveme, ZNBC News in Nyawa Chiefdom, Kazungula District.
There we have it. We got started with a recap of one of the stories that we had last week, and the story is about, domestic violence. And today is a Saturday. Most people, we're having their weddings, and others are still wedding, tonight. And the weight that we do have is that, you should not contribute to the number of, domestic violence cases and also divorce cases. We definitely wish you the very best in the union of marriage. And thereafter, I went straight to our first story tonight. And this one is talking about the expansion of, the provision of, electricity in the country, especially in the rural areas, which is a very good thing. And, on the other hand, I get to wonder because, ZESCO is stressed already. And I don't know what measures really they are, putting in place to see that load shedding reduces, because the actually provision base is actually the load management itself. I really don't know what they are doing, because businesses are suffering. Barbers, barber shops, salons, welders, and also even large companies in terms of production levels are going down. So we really would like to see ZESCO, upping their game. Mr. Mkilawai, your reaction?
Well, it's a wonderful news for the people of which place is that, Nyawa?
Yes, indeed.
Yes. So it is. I can imagine, because the feeling of not having electricity from the time we got independent, and then after almost 50 years, 58 or 60, that's when we have that's when you see a glimpse of hope, and that's when we see electricity being connected to that remote area. It's a very good gesture, but it wasn't supposed to take this long. We know that the rural electrification project has continued, and despite the Zambia, the ZESCO being challenged with the drought and the load shedding issue, I think they're doing a wonderful job to connect all areas in Zambia. We need to have electricity. They should widen their catchment area. It should not just be in Lusaka or in the big cities. They should, rural areas as well. People are Zambians there. They need also to have the right to complain of load shedding. So give them power, give them electricity poles, yes, and then they will be able to understand as well, or to feel the feeling of being given energy, so they could do their businesses, they could run their businesses, as we have heard in the video. But my also message is that Zambians should be aware of why are we experiencing load shedding today. It's not that it's abracadabra. It's something that that we should do. We should talk about. I mean, praise or demonize about. We should just understand the reasons to why we are where we are. You know, is because we had a lot of money that was pumped in through the debts, through Nkongole, and we mismanaged that money. If we had managed that money very well and produce either more power or reserving or bringing in water, where we can reserve more water, that if the Kariba is drying out, then we have other dams where we can source water, fill up the Kariba Dam to compensate. You know, we could have thought about those things when we had billions of kwachas, dollars that we borrowed. But instead, we made wrong decisions with the monies that we have. And today, when we come up and faced with the same problems, we should not be blaming the people that took over the liabilities. We should just find solutions on how we can fix this mess. How can we fix this ZESCO challenge, load shedding? Why are we having load shedding? Is it deliberate? Is it that this government is doing it deliberate, that the Zambian people should not be given the power? And where are they taking the power? If at all, we the Zambians don't have power, why are we not given the powers, the electricity? So these are issues that the government should look at, and every Zambian should look at and say, oh, and investigate. Not to kulanda vipakano because na mulefo kuchita condemn. Yes, it happened before, and we condemned, but now we have understood why. Most of these challenges are coming back today. You know, there are certain things that are beyond politics. There are certain things that are beyond. When you are in the opposition, you cannot see what the government in place are experiencing. You know, but when you see the lacking behind of communication, and they are not telling the Zambian people, all they do is respond to you in a sarcastic way. You know, like Kasundire Mumu Karibadam Gamulefa Marait. That's why you find that people were busy against the PF government, because PF government was not communicating to the Zambian people of why we were having such problems. Instead, they were very sarcastic. They used sarcasm as a way of responding to the government, despite giving them some ideas, despite them having had $30 billion in their pockets or in the government coffers, that they should have used it for developmental issue. But instead, what do? They open their pockets and dropped everything into their pockets and then give you my change. Ka airport, bami posted at infrastructure. Zesco, there were so many ghost workers there. There was nothing going on. Baisha kukuchita repair or rather expand the Kafue Gorge. There's nothing that they used the money for. The money just went just like that. So that's why we were blaming them. Now, the damage that was done, how do we resolve it? Here we are again going into the same problems. Electrical, the electricity problem. How do we do it? Now we are busy distributing electricity, like doing the load shedding for hours just to preserve the machineries. Who is going to suffer at the end of the day? Because when you don't have power, do not expect bills to receive bills. It's them that are going to have a problem. Of course, the effects as well as Zambians, we are going to suffer we're going to suffer the most, because at the end of the day, we want the services that we are paying for to be seen, so that we also get something out of it in terms of profits, in terms of our work that we are doing. But today is not the issue of talking about the mistakes that the PF made and the mistakes that we are having now. We have to just look at the main intention in this, by electrifying rural areas. To me, that's a very wonderful program. That's a plus. But then we should also encourage our brothers and sisters in rural areas to do not depend on hydroelectricity power, because we have challenges in the country. So diversify. You can also utilize other energy sources such as solar. You can do that and provide your own. Especially in rural areas, you have rivers that are just water that is just going to waste. It is time our engineers came in and help to generate power through those same rivers. We can make it. Imagine if each province had their own waterfalls that is produced, or water reservoir that is producing power. Were we still going to complain about electricity or load shedding? So it is important that we think outside the box. This problem keeps on coming back. Why? South Africa, we heard what used to happen in South Africa and Zimbabwe. Suddenly, those guys are now quiet. There is power. Now it's us that we're suffering, that had more power. Now we don't have power. We have now load shedding. What's happening? Someone somewhere is not telling us the truth. Should we investigate? Let us investigate. That's where we need now the opposition to come in to challenge the government, not Ukutu Kensele and correct assassination like they are known for, and lies. That's not okay. But otherwise, kudos to the government for having put electricity in that rural area. People need electricity and network, internet, whatever you call them, internet connections, and and phone connectivities. What is it? This tower. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mukelabai. We do appreciate. And for me, I would say, as a country, we were not raised well, because we were raised believing that the only source of energy is hydroelectricity. Until problems found us, that's when we realized that, oh, there's solar, oh, there's this and that. So if we were raised well, we could have actually, indeed, we could have grown up, knowing and also utilizing some of the alternatives. So it is only now that we are realizing and we are trying to look for alternatives. But it's never too late, so we can get.
Indeed, solar.
Indeed.
Solar with the same solar. Sorry, Chaza, to cut you short. With the same solar issue as well, it also comes with challenges. Solar nayo yalikuwa tama challenges. For example, Zambia is a very dusty area. It's a dry, sometimes most especially in summertime. It's very dry and dusty, and those solar panels need to be cleaned before they can absorb light. Now imagine you need to have people that are going to clean those plates for power to, for the sunlight to be transmitted into those plates. But when there is a layer of sand,
but cleaning, Mr. Mkelaba, is easier than being in the dark. You are waiting for 8 hours or 10 hours for ZESCO to come back. So you'd rather clean and have an alternative source of energy. And when you talk about, the cooking aspect, if you are using gas, lighting, you are using solar, and tentatively ZESCO for these other things like, pumping water and so on, then you'd probably, be safe. So as it were, we need to have alternatives, even 3 or so. But this one is a long-term, kind of, a project that one would need to undertake. Because if you're talking about, electrifying your own even house using solar, it's a substantial amount of money that you'd be talking about. So definitely, as we look forward to the future.
But then you can't afford to buy solar panels to set your house to be on solar panels and start producing. But you can even sell power to this.
You can't just wake up and say, today I'm buying solar, and you proceed, you go and buy. It's something that you need to plan for, especially that right now the economy is so biting.
Wow.
All right. You are and watching Ubuntu channels, my point of view. Let's go to the next story, and we're coming back thereafter.
They are.
Shattered windows at the hands of junkies in the community. The residents of Lusaka's Zingalume area cannot go a single day without reports of crime. Many have different sad stories to tell.
Kama glasses wanapwanya malata wanapwanya tiyopa na kuenda utitende tisevenze tipeza tiyope sabana utiwa zampwanyi wana miala.
Apa so bamuna bananitaba majanki achiramo ninde nigulise bamuna mlika nyumbani yanga nikati nigulise bamuna tiwa munozani paisa na majanki bamuna banaenda na kuyenda apa na mpepo kangadiza survivor bwanji
ange na mashopu kupwanya kutenga vintu bantu bamenye wachimenyewe pali ponse chapi.
But most importantly, they want the police post operational.
So tipempa chabe kuliboma kuti walete wa polisi wayambo kuchito operate hapa.
Polisi atufuna beba segule ndiye chikuru maningi. Polisi funa beba seguliwe etiezi ni kuru maningi.
Area Ward Councillor Crispin Kavole says a police post has been listed as one of the projects to be completed under the Constituency Development Fund CDF.
So the community came together so that they can reopen it, and they did most of the things. But when we brought in the force headquarters, most of the times the police, they have got their own standard. Then it discovered that there were a lot of things which were not put in place. So as a result, we applied to the CDF for 2023.
The residents here cannot wait for security sanity in Zingalume compound. Lufola Nkawani, ZMB.
There's a place called Zingalume in Lusaka. It's actually, in the western part of, Lusaka. And I think there's some part which is hilarious. He's saying, because of what is happening, my husband even left me, and I don't know how I'm going to survive because we are getting into the cold season.
We are really good. We are a complainant nation. We are a complainant nation, but with less solution finding nation. We want to allow only a status. How many ministers do we have in the cabinet? Just a group of individuals, few individuals against the 20 million population to decide for us. Even how to prevent ourselves, how to protect our homes. We want the government to come and decide for us. The community in Zingalume, if they have discovered that there is a lot of the prevalent issues of violent and criminal activities are taking place, it is entirely up to the community themselves to put their heads together and find a solution while awaiting for the government to allocate money to build up that police station. Imagine if the Zingalume residents, I don't know how many Zingalume people are there, each household providing a 50 kwacha, and that money is put in one basket. You mean to tell me that they cannot build a police post, or they can even not have a security firm that can help them before the government comes in? That's why we exercise certain things like citizen arrest. You can organize yourselves if the government is in slumber, is still waiting, because the government has problems. The government has to fix the whole nation of 20 million people. Now imagine only the Zingalume people in Lusaka. Zingalume is in Lusaka, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Only the people in Zingalume, who are having these problems. Should the government come to a standstill and go and start fixing problems, Yakuba Zingalume people, over breaking Mumanyumba? These are their children who are breaking in their homes. So they are fought for bringing up kids that are not.
This issue of these, young men that are called junkies is somewhat, a nationwide problem, because most parts of the country are actually having, these street children that are becoming adults, and they are really terrorizing the communities. It's not only Zingalume, most parts of the country are having, this problem. And people, yes, have got that right to cry out loud and say the government should actually do something. Because remember that the citizens also cannot take the law in their hands, like you are saying, citizen arrest and so on and so forth. People would be emotional, and if they take the mantle in their hands, it may be a different issue altogether. Because the government is supposed to protect its citizens.
Yes, it is understood that the government should provide. But the government is lacking money, the money that is in Mr. Chagwalungu's pocket and his people. How are they going to go and start building? Or they are waiting for what? For CDF to be allocated to them? Honestly, will the junkies wait? Will the junkies wait for them to find money?
If you are saying that the government is broke, What about the citizen? The citizens are crying out loud. They are saying, you know, life has become, you know, so expensive. Look at the issue of fuel, look at the issue of milli meal and so on and so forth. You know, a household cannot afford to buy a bag of milli meal. And you're talking about the 50.
Uli omuntu mule supporta ulenda mu street mule supporta uwaona ule chalo eo mule konka elo mule ne mushere muchiri mu problems oyo asha. You know, you are still busy wallowing in abject poverty that he left, and this time is even tripling, and you are busy running and chasing this person, one individual that put you, the Zambian people in harm's way. So, yes, the government has the obligation to provide security. Yes, we understand that is the fact. But if you, the community yourselves, are not doing something to mitigate your challenges there, right there and then, you cannot tell me that all these Zingalume people, they cannot put their heads together to combat this problem that is they are facing in their community. Even neighborhood watch, they can even start doing some neighborhood watch. You have strong young men. You can still use the same young boys, the same junkies, to catch their fellow junkies. It's a matter of psychology. And you put your money together, you get 10 of these junkies, the so-called junkies. You train them. We want you to secure this area. Bane. As a community, 10 kwacha, each house yakulafunya 10 kwacha. You think elonga mamu ikato muntu yo mwimuma yo mutu aleni ku police. Let it be the problem of the police. Sometimes it's okay to use your own initiative. You cannot sit and wait for the government to come and ukisa mpela ama solutions. You can find solutions yourselves. Once the government realize that there's a prevalent matters, cases of criminal activities in that area, they will also step up, engage them as well. Yes, we are not saying you should not engage the government. Those that have boyfriends or men, they are running away from not coming Munganda because for fear that the junkies will come and attack. And she's complaining that nakula lala shat. They say. Now listen to that. And the government should look into that, so that I know in general she's talking about security and safety. Yes, we understand that aspect. The government should come in and intervene. But in the meantime, Zingalume people, for any solution, mweka. Secure your homes. How do you secure your homes? Mwalikwata ama chairman mumomine muzingalume mwalikwata community. These are your children. Do you want to beat them and kill them? Do you want the government to come and start shooting them? No. Talk to your children. Find programs of putting them together. Our government buys some Kwisaland. How are they called junkies? They're buying drugs. From who? Sometimes I'm a drugs. So you are busy recycling the same problems. So what do? Either you start from the source of the problem. Yes, we know that the lack of employment, these youths need employment. Nibali abale bonfya ba PF ama cadres mule mona balelo basanduka baba machani ama junkies because tabakwete nchito. 10 years ago, these kids ngabali bapela ama programs. Ngalelo balensha ama trucks ngalelo nima security guards ngalelo nima nabakwata ma entrepreneur nabakwata tuma licenses balechita ama businesses, but instead bale babompya tantamen lelo abo bambo kumichita attack. So the onus is on you, the community, not umuntu eka wonse mwikatane chapamo. You can defeat these junkies, the so-called junkies. You can challenge, you can even finish this junkie issue. Vana benu aba you can find solutions of dealing with them. Ngamule Fire, there are so many security firms in Zambia. Look at these guys who are rich. They hire people to protect their properties and protect their homes. At their rich level, at their level. Number ifwe, at our level, mkomboni mulia. You mean we can't also find ways of hiring people to protect our properties and at our level? We just need to wait for the government to come and help us. Yes, the government, I hope the government is listening. They should send their troops, their army, their soldiers in that area. But at the same time, we want the people themselves to be able to find solution in their own areas because they know the problems they are facing. They know even the cause of those problems. So with that being said, Zingalume people, my brothers and sisters, put your heads together. Government teti semi pele ndalama, government teti semi shtiro bunga. Ni muevo to go out and work hard. The government cannot provide security for you. They can only do it at an international level or at a national level. But how do they do it? Do they have the capacity? Because na wale chita complaint wako etempi. Na mwewe nemwe taxpayers tamko etempi. So how do we live? Should we just neglect our lives just like that? Let's move to plan B. Plan B. But government ingawamona ifile chitika tafilibu they will come in and intervene. But for now, sometimes it's better to find solution for yourselves, put your heads together and start dealing with these kids one by one. You know, okobekala mwalishiba mayanda yabo, but government abaishiba. But imwebe in community, you know who these kids are. You even know them, how they grew up. So deal, it is your problem also, you the community, deal with it. Now, to the government, Jack Mwimbu, Minister of Home Affairs, you've heard, my brother, you're honorable. People need your intervention. Take your troops to that area. Expand the security, tighten the security. There's trouble. The residents are complaining. We don't want to hear people killing each other because you have neglected. It will all fall on your head. That's my position. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mkelawai. That is much appreciated. And those of you that are following the program, just in case you'd like to react to the stories that we do have right here, you can definitely get to do so. And you can leave us a comment right in the comment section. And I'll be glad to know that you are following the program and wherever you are at this point in time. Let's take a look at the next story. And we are still here and getting to react to the stories. See you on the other side.
This is something some of us did not experience during the 10 years of the Patriotic Front leadership. So we are celebrating together with former President Edgar Lungu for the newfound freedoms that he can walk through the city and the police don't arrest him. So we are very, very grateful to see that the democracy that we wanted to see reinstituted in the country is slowly coming back into the country. However, we do have a concern. The concern that we have is the mission that he undertook to go and check on the prices of tomatoes, which is his right, and the comments that he made on how expensive things are in the country. I think we have a very, very big problem in appreciating his lack of understanding that the country is in its current state economically because of the missed opportunity by the Patriotic Front when they were in government.
Our concern sometimes comes about when such freedoms, they tend to be abused somehow by those that enjoy such freedoms, especially those that hold positions of influence, perhaps to gather crowds and perhaps cause some form of commotion. We feel that this, of course, should be encouraged, but they should also, those that are given freedoms, should take such with caution. But overall, what we can say is that we are happy that the UPND government has is in the overdrive to respect freedoms of citizens, including for those in the opposition.
We have it. A story talking about, the former Republican president who actually, saw himself in the CBD and what, she was doing right there has not sat well with quite a number of people that are perceiving it to be an abuse of the freedom that the government is actually according to him and other citizens. Mr. Mkelawa, your reaction?
Me, I have I'm just a little bit sorry for the former president, because he's surrounded himself with people that don't mean well, that are trying to use him to get to the current leadership, so that the leadership of today may feel threatened. Unfortunately, it's actually backfiring to the same people, the so-called PF or the former president's group. These are people that are trying to protect themselves from the criminal activities that they took whilst they were in offices. They're trying to protect and prevent, and they're trying to make sure that they turn the people, that the people should start doubting or not listening to the current government. They are turning them, in short, they are trying to incite insurrection. Because when you listen to their propaganda is based on insulting, character assassinating, calling the current government a liars, or the leadership liars, failures. When the failures they are busy talking about, they are referring to, are their failure. They are even claiming that this UPND government has failed. They are a failure because they have failed to fix our problems, the problems they created themselves. It's so funny because here is the person. How did he leave the economy in the first place? Was the economy on the way going up in terms of developing, expanding upwards, or the economy was heading nosedive? Right now, the economy was hanging on a thread. And if it wasn't for change of government, and if it wasn't for having brought this new dawn government, Zambia today was going to be declared bankrupt, and we were going to be like in Zimbabwe. Remember the Zimbabweans when they were buying bread at 1 billion kwacha, billion Zimbabwean dollars? We were heading that direction. Had it not for Hakainde to come in and step in and intervene. That's why I always say that Zambia, we are a very lucky nation we are a very lucky nation in a sense that the time when things were really going downhill, God came to our aid. He made us choose the leader that has maintained the economy today to be where it is today, despite the challenges. Because yes, the economy was really bad, and when we talk about this Pakanwa, we always think, you are being political. We are just being political. No, the economy was bad, Vane. And when we tell you that the effects of those 30 billion that went into these Benelungu's pockets, the effects is what is currently taking place today. The high cost of living. Do you think, honestly, UPND will sink so low to just come and deliberately increase things when they have control of everything? And when they have already given all these promises to you, the Zambian people, and they are even busy pushing the agenda of free education, increasing of CDF, you see the intentions there. And also, on top of that, democracy, freedom of association, freedom of movements is being appreciated today. The rule of law, all those that committed heinous crimes or those that are suspected to have been, they are today currently in court. So when you look at all that,
if you talk about some issues like escalation of commodity prices, including fuel, remember that we were given a very good formula of bringing down the pump prices. Would like that to be implemented and see that prices come to what was actually told to us.
It is implemented, and that is why today you find the fuel price is going. It is where it is today, because had we allowed the very, very Lungu, together with his people, continued, I promise you it would have been worse. You see, the problem with us Zambians is that just because Hakainde mentioned to say these were the challenges that he saw, and then we want to put him to task to do those things that he said. Yes, he is going to do those things. He is doing those things. But there are also a lot of lacunas and challenges, obstacles on the way. Because the theft that was involved was done at a larger scale, at a huge scale. Imagine a young girl who is a journalist being found with such amount of money alone, just one girl. Now, think of these who were in, imagine how much money these guys have had. And the Hakainde Hichilema together with, they can't, listen, HH together with his people cannot just work up and go and...
Just one minute, I have a question. You've talked about such huge sums of money with just one individual. Where do you get where do you take such huge amounts of monies when you steal? Where do you take them?
Exactly. They know where they took that money to. Some of them, that is the money. Do you honestly think that Lungu has no money to use? You see, those movement is making. The people that are busy surrounding him, that are busy working with him, you think they're just working there for free, pro bono, sacrifice? They are being paid. Go to the media where they are going. All these guys who are busy, where are they getting the money to run their affairs? Who is sponsoring them? Where did that person get the money when he was just a broke gentleman, a broke lawyer in Chawama there, just having drinks? Where do you think he got all the money to start supporting his followers and paying so much money to his children or to his wives and where do you think that money came from? How is he managing to? This is the man who even chose not to care about whatever benefits he was getting from the state. Why do you think that is? Because he's comfortable. He knows. He knows if this man had no money, I promise you, he was going to humble himself. But he knows how much money he's worth. And he's using the immunity as a scapegoat. Right now, that's why I was blaming this government to say, you rushed in asking for, in forgiving these chaps. Most of them, you went ahead on the platform. No, I forgive you. I'm not going to persecute you. You should have done those things. That's why today they are coming back to bite you back. Shaka said, never leave your enemy behind or else they will rise again and come and attack you. And this is exactly what is happening. Lungu is a danger to Zambia. He's a liability. He's a walking liability. Why am I saying so? He is busy mocking you, the Zambian people. The problems he created himself, together with his people, the problems that he failed to resolve himself, together with his people, are the same problems he's using now to come to you and say, sort out problems. Did HH tell you how long it was going to take him to fix this problem? Where is he going to get the money? Was HH going to use his own money to come and fix the economy? Is this what you thought? No, bunga HH alenda akabwesha bunga pa 50 kwacha. It would have happened, and it was going to happen if had he not found that huge debt. Ubunganga bwali bwena pa 50 kwacha. Why? Because the missing of that amount has really stretched this economy. Where do you think HH is finding money to pay the CDM?
Mr. Mkelawa, what you are saying is that before forming a government, they had all these plans, genuine plans, very good plans, and when they formed government, they were shocked with reality. Reality dawned on them, and it's difficult to actually, see what they had envisaged.
Exactly. It was a tip of an iceberg.
Okay.
What they saw, they thought, because they were in the opposition, they had no privy information of what was really into the government. What was really going on? What went wrong? What was going on? How did the money go? Where did the money go? How did we reach this far? But the moment they hit the iceberg, the top, and then suddenly the damage, my brother, was too huge. They went down like a Titanic. They've seen what is now down there. There was a mountain of an iceberg. And these are the challenges that they have. And many Zambian people don't want to be, they don't want to understand this. They are busy blaming HH and the UP and the UPND, saying they have failed. No. If
on a very hot day, you've been promised that you'll be given ice cream, and you're even craving. Then at the material time, they give you hot tea. Reality has dawned, and you'll be shocked.
At the material time, then you go and want to make ice cream for yourself. And then you discover that nabafunyama ingredients na machine na ifwa. Like what a problem. It cannot produce the ice cream and now what is happening is that HH, together with his people, they are busy trying to order parts from China, from America, to come and fix that machine so that we can have an ice cream with all that nice ice cream. But why? Because bali onaolaka. Then uliowa onaolaka le machine we. Ale isale lo kisame bat monene afiro kulungisha machine uyu. Chipuba. Ali mibepa. Wabufi. No. HH has ordered a part. It's coming. It's on its way from China to come and fix this ice cream machine that you have destroyed. And to see Walungu going around masquerading in a city, and he has all these kaponyas because you saw. Now you understand when you tell you about Kadarism. The moment Umwinewa Kadarism, the source of Kada, went into the CBD, you saw what happened. Who was following? Did you see men in black and men in uniform, nicely, well-dressed, Balesa Tino, with humbleness? Those kaponyas or mishanga sellers, or you call them, that's how we used to call them, Bakabova. That is his group. They were so happy to see him. Now imagine such people. And then Waisa Pitana ka t-shirt aka red. Na HH. Can such people be able to reason with you? And their boss is even there. So, and where is this issue of Mr. Lungu claiming that there's no democratic space, there's a shrinking democratic space in Zambia. In a democratic, where there's democratic space is shrinking, would he have managed to even walk 4 steps in the city like that? So we should be able to thank this leadership, the current leadership. Tekutina tibale mutina Lungu. It is just that HH and his team, they are doing something so different that is unique, that is not known for the Zambian. Because what we knew before was kuya ponona. Kuya baponona bonse balia. Nga twali ima, nga bali twali baba UPND na kuya to go and attack Lungu together and arrest Lungu and give him treason case. That is the way Zambians those days used to think. And now when things are not happening that way, now they are wondering, Aletina, how can umuntu wapono na wauma watch that defeat the loser? The person that you lost, that lost power. Alimu power, loser, boom. He lost, he dropped down like a dead bee. How can he be feared, honestly? So Walungu is being used by his people. If Walungu loves himself, his health, I suggest that Walungu, go, your wife needs you. Strategize about those cases, Mukot, and how you can circumvent, how you can run around those cases and try to run away from the cause of justice, than concentrating with what is currently going on. Uleya nukuyachita compare prices when you are the one who caused these prices to be where they are. That's an insult to the Zambian people. And you should thank your God, Walungu. Because lesao mule pepa, I think wakaele, because you could have been somewhere else today. But because we brought in the man that fears God, the man that respects the rule of law, the man that allows you to walk the street of Lusaka freely, the man that you incarcerated and almost gave him a death penalty type of charge. Today he's allowing you to walk and with your kelenkas on the street. Once a kelenka, always a kelenka. Humbleness, look at where it ended us. We voted because we wanted Lungu to come because he was humble, the chosen one. Look at the economy today. Whatever is happening, I'm pointing at him. Whatever trouble, we are going through today, whatever difficulties and challenges the current government is going through today, is experiencing today, there's no other person to put a blame on. It's the previous regime. Because ngabali bomba, it would have taken maybe 10 years for this government to destroy what these chaps built. So there's nothing that they did. It's like HH came and took over from the scratch. So Lungu should thank his God that there is HH in power today on all his minions. We respect Walungu, but me, I will still repeat, Walungu, please go back and help your wife. Support your daughter, Tasila, either to be in front of politics. Let her shine. It's her time. She's in her prime time. Instead of you, who we have tested, who we have tried and has failed, and we checked you. You can't come back from that. You can't. Come 2026, you'll be surprised. You'll be lucky to even have your name being recorded on the ballot box. You'll be so lucky. I don't know whatever magic you're going to use. That is in this current democratic dispensation, because this is a real democracy where you are able to walk freely and say whatever you want to say. Let me end here.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mukelabai. We do appreciate and your reactions, of great significance on this program. And this program is called My Point of View. It comes your way every Saturday right here on our Ubuntu channel. And to host it, my name is Charles right here. And due to time, my director is actually saying we do a wrap. And, I wish we could go on, Mr. Mukelabai, but, we are actually instructed to wrap up right about now. And it's
in my
been a great
conclusion,
time once more.
May I just conclude?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
I would like to appeal to the opposition of Zambia to be factual in them challenging the government. Let them be honest when they want to challenge the government. If you want peace and tranquility to continue, be factual and stop this character assassination and calling of names. That way, we are going to have a better Zambia. We want the opposition to be viable. We need opposition in this country. We need the opposition. There's no government, there's no country that has no opposition. We need the opposition. At the rate at which we are going, where others, they're even exiling themselves just because they've insulted so many people, they've injured so many souls. They are running away from their legal battles. I find that to be so childish, delinquent behavior. So I'm asking the opposition, come up with solutions, especially former PF, that Marikwata experience, even though you failed us. What are the solutions to these challenges that you yourselves left behind that are being tackled by this current government? How are this current government fixing your mess? Is this how you want your mess to be fixed? Or are they fixing your mess in the wrong way? What do you suggest? After all, you are the ones that created this mess. How else do you want this government to fix your mess? The economical and the high cost of living, it is doing so, it is happening because of your mess. The mines are now operating. The CDF is on an increase. Investors are now coming in. There is solar system coming in. How do we? Thank you. How do we fix the mess that you, the PF, the Patriotic Front government left? Is HH together with his team able to fix your mess? Is he doing it the right way? How? Give us solutions. Insults will not take you anywhere. Name calling will not take you anywhere. Will make you alienate yourselves from the country alone. And you will be in exile like others. So, what are the practical solutions that you are ready to offer? Na Totela.
Right.
Let me end
Thank you
here.
so much, Mr. Mukelawan. That is greatly appreciated. And, due to time, like I earlier indicated, we have to come to a close. And thank you so much for being right here and making, your opinions known as regards the stories of the week that we've had, tonight. And those of you following the program, we greatly appreciate. And we are glad to know that you are right there following the program as usual. My name is Chaza right here. Till next time, God bless you all.